Okay, everybody, I am back for part two of our live stream. This seems to be the way things happen here. I have to wait a little while for to reestablish the connection, and I'm back. Even though I upgraded my software and my hardware since our last live stream, it still goes out, and it's upsetting. So I'll wait for. There were a lot of people. I was telling a lot of stories. If you are watching part two right now, go back to part one and check out where we left off. I was talking about Fcustom and my experience with some of the local Chinese troops. But in part two, we're going to move on to some of the news that I want to talk about. Um, some interesting stuff that I get a lot of questions about, and I usually don't talk too much about it. Uh, there were a lot of questions and comments in the last live stream that I have lost, and I'm sorry about that. That happens when you get disconnected, and I'm hoping this one stays strong. We will see. If you had a comment in the last one, by all means, please put it in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer it for all of you. But okay, here we are. Like I said, the college is going crazy. It is now 10:40 in the evening here, and the students are getting ready for bed. But of course, you know how university students are. They're just very loud, and it's great to have life back at the university. I have to admit that. For so many months, as you've seen on my channel, for so many months, it was completely empty here, just complete quiet. And the going from craziness of all the students being here to a complete quiet is great. It's a wonderful thing, right? But then after 6 months, it's been 9 months since I've been in the classroom. Um, it's great to have life back at the university. The construction noise is crazy. I mean, when you count the students waking up at 6 a.m. for their military training right now, that's what they're doing for the next couple of weeks, and then you include the construction noise that starts at 7 a.m. That all around my apartment here. It's crazy, but at the same time, I kind of like it. I like the fact that there is actually stuff going on here. One of the comments I did see from the last one I'll address before we get to the news is someone asked me about how the virus is doing here. The virus is in Zhongshan is non-existent, but of course there have been some news reports about Qingdao in northeast China having some locally transmitted cases. Again, these things are caught really quickly. The local governments jump on it really fast, and they are testing everybody and hopefully putting a stop to it there. For the most part, for a country as large as China and for a population as large as China, it really is impressive what they do and how they control these minor little outbreaks that happen. They continue to happen. They are reported on, regardless of what you hear. These are reported on a daily basis about everything that happens with regards to this and how they are controlling it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's a very long. It's a very far place from where I am. I'm in southern China, and so far so good. Again, the requirements for coming into China for both foreigners and Chinese are pretty strict. Pretty strict, and they do a very good job of clamping down on anything that actually does happen. There have been reports of there was one little outbreak in Yunnan, there was an outbreak in Shenzhen a couple months ago, and they do testing, contact tracing. I mean, they just throw people and money at the issue, and then they knock it down like you would believe. It's something that I think the whole world can learn from. Okay, so yes, I am back. I always hated those construction noises. A friend of mine calls it the national song of China, is those construction noises. But that's China. It's developing. I mean, it's construction everywhere. Um, yeah, it's a busy place. It's a dynamic place. And that's part of what you get for living here. It's not quiet. Okay, so in the next couple of weeks, I have 2 weeks before I go back into the classroom and start my lectures again. In the meantime, I'm going to try and bank as much as I can. I'm going to try and bank as much raw footage as I can. We talked about Lo Fushan in the last live stream. which was a great experience. But it'll be another 2 weeks before I can even upload that because I still have to get through the National Day, holiday vlogs that I have booked and a couple of other hotel vlogs that I've booked. At Rojo Reads the News, I have over 20 Rojo Reads the News things that are in the can. I just have to edit them and upload them, and I just haven't gotten to it because it's been so crazy busy. Good old Randall. You know who I'm talking about. That's exactly who we're talking about. Oh, hey. Is that who I think it is? How you doing, buddy? Where are you right now, by the way, man? Are you back in the States? Because I know you did Xiamen. Did you go back to the States, or are you coming back to China? Where are you these days, dude? Yeah, I know who you are. Yeah, is it okay if I tell you your name? Yeah. You're still talked about in some circles here, man, because you were quite a ladies' man, from what I remember. We're gonna talk about that a little bit today too. In South Carolina. Okay. Yeah, I hope you do come back. I really do, man. All right. And you know what? I hear that a lot, dude. I really do. I hear that people miss it. You know, that when you come here, you know, you can appreciate it for what it is and while you're here, but you do get homesick and you want to move on and everything. But everyone who leaves China misses China and misses certain things, and they just all want to seem to come back. It's a very common thing that I hear. Okay, so before the stream goes nuts again, and we have this strong connection, hopefully we can stick to it. Drives me crazy. Let's do some shameless self promotions. Why have you become a China shill? I don't think I'm a China shill. I'm just being honest with my opinion. If you want to call me a China shill, go right ahead. You know. In fact, I think most people would call me an American shill because I'm a very proud American. I love my country. I love what it is. And part of being an American is criticizing and praising. And I do that everywhere I go here in China. Everywhere I go, people ask me what America is like, and I tell them my truth. I tell them that America is a beautiful, relatively safe, very friendly people, and is a very unique place in the world, and I am the proudest American you'll ever meet. And people seem to respect that when I walk around here. And there's a mutual respect. You know, is America perfect? Of course not. Is China perfect? Of course not, you know. But we are still brothers and sisters on this earth, and that is a message, and that is how I like to conduct myself as I go about my days. Yeah. If you want to call me a China shill, that's your prerogative. But I don't consider myself to be shilling for anyone except my own heart and my own mind. Yeah, dude, you made me have such a positive attitude while I was there, unlike Michael. Well, you know, the guy that you're talking about, he's a really good friend of mine. And he struggled. I mean, you have certain attitudes. People have different attitudes. They have different ideas when they come here. They have preconceived notions that they hold on to while they're here, and they don't want to expand their mind. And so I try my best to open people up to different experiences, whether or not they're in China or any country in the world. I've traveled enough in this world to know that. One of my favorite quotes in the world is by the Prophet Muhammad. He said, "Don't tell me how much education you have, tell me how much you've traveled." And there's so much truth to that. Anyways, our friend is, I spoke to him a few months ago, actually. He's doing well in Vietnam, which is another amazing country. If you will, it's another communist country, but a fabulous country with a very proud people, a very diverse population, incredible culture. And he's very, very happy here. Give him a shout out, dude. He'd love to hear from you, man. He really would. Make America great again. You know, America is great. It's already great. It has always been great. America is a country that is constantly changing. If you want to call me a liberal, go right ahead. But I believe in the idea of constant improvement, continuous improvement. W. Edwards Deming. I'm sorry, mother. My mother being an engineer, she exposed me to the teachings of W. Edwards Deming and the ideas of continuous improvement, and I've applied that to my life. I apply that to America, and America needs to continuously change and improve because every year should be better than the last. So I don't know what people think about Make America Great Again. America's always been great. We've never been perfect, and we can always improve. But I love it when people ask, okay, when was America great? And they say, oh, back in the 1950s. Oh, 1950s, okay. There were a lot of things happening in the 1950s that people can point to that say America was not great. I mean, I was watching a movie today, Good Night and Good Luck, about McCarthyism and Edward R. Murrow. I think that was him, right? But what struck me was the smoking. Everyone's smoking cigarettes and they're having advertising for smoking. And of course, was that when America was great? You know, it's all relative. And these quotes and these sound bites of "Make America Great Again," and even Biden's "Build America Better," whatever it is, I don't pay much attention to because America's always been great, and in many ways, China has always been great. And but like America, China has a long way to go, and like China, America has a long way to go. The whole world does, and I think that's what we need to focus on: dividing us, dividing peoples, dividing countries and people groups, whether it be for political reasons or religious reasons or economic reasons, does nobody any good. And I reject it completely. And I think we all need to come together, and that includes China and America. And that's one of the things. When I was on top of this hill, okay, there were many people around. And I've gotten some flack about this picture, by the way, because I'm an American holding a Chinese flag like this, right? And when I was standing there alone, I was surrounded by Chinese people who were very, very patriotic and nationalistic people. And I stood there and I said, 我是美国人. Monsieur Dongguo Pongyo. And I said that very loud, and I said that very proud. And everyone around me went, woohoo, yeah, and they clapped and everything. And I think that's a message that we all need to send. What happens between politics and politicians, that's above my pay grade. I don't subscribe to it at all. What happens on the ground is truly, and I've talked about this in my last stream of part 1, is brotherhood and connection. Because at the end of the day, we're all people just trying to live our best lives and what's best for our friends and our families, and that's what we deal with on a daily basis. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. That's good to hear. I haven't talked to him in a while, so that's good to hear. I will hit him up. Please do. He'd love to hear from you, dude. I got to go, but it's great to see that you're doing this, man. I will try to join the next one. Keep it up. Thanks, man. I appreciate your support, brother. It's good to see you, man. Remember, the ladies here miss you, dude. Always love your country no matter where you are. Yes, I'm a proud American, and I make that very clear to everyone. You're going to get so much hate from your compatriots for that. I hope not. And, I might get some hate from compatriots for this. So what? I mean, that's part of being an American, right? We've talked about this in the past. Being an American is a clash of ideas. It's disagreements and agreements. It's debate. It's open debate. And I applaud that. That's one of the things I love about America, is that we can have disagreements about sports teams, about politics, about where we want our country to be, where our country has been, our relationships with the world. That's what makes America great, is that clash of ideas. And I celebrate that everywhere I go. Okay, so let's do some shameless self-promotion, shall we? I don't know how much longer I'm going to have this. So here's my Facebook page. Please like my Facebook page. Follow me. I also have a Twitter page, but those are just really just links to the vlogs. Here you can see photos of upcoming vlogs that I will be doing in the next couple of weeks. Again, as I bank the raw footage, it usually takes a week or two for me to get them uploaded. So, yeah, we went and drove ATVs out in Huizhou. That was a lot of fun. So that's coming up in a vlog here in the next couple of weeks. Again, my live streams are sponsored by Fcustom.com. You can hit the link below and enter the coupon code WalkaboutRojo for an additional 10% off. These are really, really cool. They make great gifts. I love mine. This is pretty high quality. It's all embroidered and in my LA Dodger team, but you can do baseball, football, basketball, whatever. So if you want to support me, support the channel, that's one way you can do it. Rojo reads the news. Again, I have about 20 news stories that I have banked. They're raw footage sitting on my computer right now. I just haven't been able to get it done. It's amazing how busy I am not being busy. It's insane, right? But Rojo reads the news. I have 150 some subscribers now. Thank you, everybody. It's just short little videos about news stories here in China. If you want to buy me a coffee, these links are all below. You can buy me a coffee. Thank you for everyone who has. All of my editing and stuff is done in a local coffee shop because the construction noise around me is just too much. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can. Again, all the links are below. Let's see. Whoops. What happened there? Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, Patreon. I have 4 Patreons, and I make $20 a month. I'm completely open with this. If you support me, great. All Patreons, whether you support me or any creator out there, you guys are heroes to this community. So thank you for that. Okay, a couple more. Let's see. Too bad you're not in the States. I miss our conversations. I am sure we have lots to discuss. I miss it. I talked to you about this, and I've talked to other people about it, and I feel as though I am not part of the conversation. Just the mere fact that I'm on the other side of the world. I was talking to Brother Mike about this too, and I miss that aspect of things. There's so much. I miss our debates. I miss at the dinner table talking about these things, in the car having very spirited arguments, There have been some moments where, you correct my course, and then there are moments where I see on your face, well, I never thought about it that way. It's an element of living in America that I truly miss a lot. I miss going to Dodger games. I miss hanging out with my family. I miss a lot. But this time of the year with the election going on and everything, I miss being part of the conversation, which is what being an American is really all about, is participating in the democracy that we have. And here in China, I'm not part of that. I'm separated from it. I get questions from my Chinese friends often about my opinions on things, and I tell them very openly my opinions on things. But I can't have the same types of conversations because they have no skin in the game. They have their own politics and their own issues to worry about, their own families to deal with. That is an element of living in the States that I do miss. No, I won't lie about that. Yeah. If I buy those jerseys from you, you ship to China address. Send them an email. The order form will not ship to a Chinese address, but if you send them an email to their customer service, they will send it. That's how I got mine. So their online is mostly just delivery to other countries, but China is a different monster. So just send them an email to their customer service, and they will facilitate that. So send them the order form, you purchase it, and then send them a quick email, and they'll take care of it for you. Okay, so let's talk about Golden Week. Golden Week Wedding season boom with 600,000 couples tying the knot. So this is kind of what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about hotels and weddings and dating and marriage here. I get this question a lot on my Facebook, on my emails. What's the dating scene like here? And I usually do not talk about my personal life on this vlog because it is personal. But tonight I'm willing to share a little bit about it, I think. So this was when I was out and about during Golden Week. I stayed in a lot of hotels. I traveled around, and everyone was getting married. There were wedding ceremonies all over the place. It was quite impressive. So marriage is still a big thing. Here, foreigners married to Chinese face challenges to work legally. This is true. If you are married to a Chinese person and you're here on a marriage visa, you are technically not allowed to work. You're only allowed to technically visit your spouse. So if you do work, you need to be on a working visa, a Z visa or a working visa. There's other challenges that face people who are married to local Chinese people. And I have friends of mine who are married, obviously, both guys and girls, and they all share with me these different challenges. I welcome you to look into this. I'll probably do this one as a Rojo Reads the News, as it's a fascinating topic. There is no connection here regarding the elections. Armed camps would be more apt description. You at least have conversations. Maybe, you'd be surprised. I really don't have conversations. A lot of the expats here, the American expats, don't really talk about politics. I hear this a lot. I have a couple that I get to engage in very high-level intellectual conversations with, and I cherish those relationships. But the vast majority that I meet tell me I'm an American. I left China to avoid all that stuff. Or I left America to avoid all that. But on a day-to-day basis, these conversations, I have to be very careful because, quite frankly, I'm not supposed to talk about these things in public. In private, I can, but it really doesn't come up too much. The number one thing lately is I heard Trump got COVID. I'm like, yeah, Trump got COVID. And then it ends there. I was in an elevator. Someone asked me, Trump or Biden? And I said, well, I'm Biden, and whoa, and that was it. They didn't know any other English. I couldn't actually have a intellectual conversation with that short ride in an elevator. So it doesn't really happen that much. And I think when you watch the news, a lot of people here watch the news, the American news, and they think things are out of control in America. But I know that a lot of that is very hyperbolic. I do know that on a day-to-day basis in America, life moves on. You're doing your best to get by and then I know some people here that say that, civil war is coming in America as a result of this election. I think, no, it's not. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think the election will be a mess. I think there'll be a lot of reports on it. But at the end of the day, I do think there'll be a peaceful transfer of power or a continuation of power, whoever wins, and life will go on. We see this kind of rhetoric come out of news and in society and on social media every 2 years. Every time there's a major election, this kind of crap is talked about, and it's completely over the top. And I just don't subscribe to the idea that it's war. It's either this or it's going to be civil war. I really don't believe in that. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about fraudulent hotel bookings. As you guys know, I'm an old hotel manager. I love hotels. I do a lot of hotel reviews. The latest hotel review I did was the Langham Place in Guangdong, which is a very popular convention hotel right next to the Canton Fair area in Guangzhou. I've been wanting to stay at this hotel for a long time, mostly because of the architecture is so amazing. But I had a mixed review. The staff was amazing. The staff was great. The food was delicious. One thing I've noticed about this part of Guangzhou is everything is so big that your perception of scale gets warped. So you check into this hotel and it looks like a normal hotel, but it is massive. It's so big because everything around this hotel is also big. So it's tough to see the scale. You have nothing to give any kind of perspective. So when you're standing in your hotel room and you look out onto the convention center, you say, it's right across the street. No problem. It's a 5-minute walk. No, it's 20, 30-minute walk because it is so big, to get out the door, cross the street, to get to the entrance. That was really the thing that blew me away on that one. Anyways, fraudulent hotel bookings. Here are the signs to watch out for. This is very common in China. You start to see a lot of these hotels that aren't really hotels. They're basically these Airbnb models that try to advertise on hotel booking sites. The internet has brought us more convenience than we can imagine. People can book hotels and flights online, find destinations on Google Maps, and even see the actual surroundings. There are more and more travel bookings. On these platforms, most hotels are legal, but some are not. Bed and breakfasts and apartments run by small business owners can put their information online as well. I've run into this. I've got enough experience with this where I can tell the difference between these so-called B&Bs and apartments that try to advertise themselves as hotels. Never trust the marketed photos. They're always incorrect, or they're always touched up. Even the uploaded by user photos can be a little deceiving. I've had some bad experiences with this. So this is what is advertised, and this is the reality. So remember, hotels, unless they're a large brand, they might have one room that looks like this, but then they'll have 50 rooms that look like this. The other thing that you see a lot of is the amenities of some of these hotels. My biggest issue right now is when you go to a hotel and I want to sit in a hot tub, the hot tub is broken or not turned on and hasn't been turned on in maybe a year or 2 years. I went to the Sheraton in Huizhou, which is a nice hotel. It's a giant resort, and I was one of the only ones there. And I wanted to go swimming. There's a beautiful swimming pool, infinity-like pool. So, before the sun went down, I went swimming. And the water was freezing cold because they turned off the heat. And it's still rather good weather here. I mean, it's not out of season. They had a pool attendant there giving out towels, and, you had to sign up for it and everything. And I can only swim for about 20 minutes because it was so damn cold. These types of experiences happen again and again and again, even at some of the larger hotel brands. And so when you book hotels, you really have to be careful and look at everything with, give a second look. Really do your research on hotels. Let's see. We stayed next door at the Westin in December 2019. Can't wait to go back. That looked like a beautiful hotel. The Langham was great. I gave a little crap about the bed, and I think that was warranted. That's actually a very common thing where they advertise a king bed and you pay for a king bed, and then what they do is they just put 2 twin beds together with a pillow top over it. And sometimes that works. Sometimes they do a good job with it, and the pillow top that they have, you cannot tell the difference. But this one had a dip in it, and it was terrible. And because I prepaid for the room, there was nothing they would do for me. They apologized. They were very sincere with their apology. They want me to come back and do another video, actually, but I probably won't. I rarely stay in the same hotel twice. The Westin looked like another hotel. It was a little bit more expensive. I was going to stay at the Shangri-La that weekend, but the Shangri-La, it was raining, and so I don't think I would have gotten my money's worth for the Shangri-La because they had this beautiful resort swimming pool area there that I really want to experience, but I need a beautiful day to experience that. Now that winter's coming, most of the hotels that I'm going to be staying in are either going to be cheaper hotels or they're going to be tower hotels with indoor pools. The resort pools are better spent during the summer. Just take a tent. I have a tent in my car, and I have used it on a couple of occasions. Uh, I, a friend of mine and I are planning a trip to Jiangsu, to a mountain there to go hiking and camping for a weekend in about 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to take the train up. It's just east of Zhongshan, across the provincial border. We've just done the preliminary planning for this, but it looks like it will actually happen. I'm really excited for this. I have a lot of camping trips in mind for this season. Again, weekend trips. The weather is perfect for it. Even when it's really, really cold out, say January, February, it's still weather is okay for camping. Summer is just too dang hot. It's just too dang hot to camp. And a lot of people go camping on the beach here. Beach camping for me is not fun. I never really enjoyed it, even in the past. It's just too dang hot. All right. All right, let's talk about this. Dating Chinese women over 30. What you need to know. I am a single man. And no, I don't have a girlfriend currently. I am currently single. Age is just a number, or so you think. Perhaps you like dating older women. Perhaps it's their maturity that you're attracted to. Whatever the case, depending on where you come from, age can be a significant factor in relationship. So everyone talks about the so-called leftover women here. They say like after 27, 28, the women are no longer desirable by Chinese men because they're too old to marry. I've heard this from my male Chinese friends. I've heard this from Chinese women. But in reality, I just think dating here is the same as it would be anywhere. My experiences dating in China are pretty much the same as they were back in America or any country. It's you meet someone you like, you go on a few dates, you get to know them. You communicate. If you communicate well, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. There's no secret to it. Yeah, there are cultural differences in aggregate, I guess. There's a lot more emphasis on family here, especially generational family. But the idea of going on a date with somebody or dating somebody here, it seems to be the exact same thing as it is anywhere else. Male-female dynamics are the same everywhere you go. Gonna try to experience the Four Seasons or Rosewood the next time I'm in Guangdong. The Four Seasons, yes, check that one out. The Four Seasons is in the IFC Tower in Zhejiang Newtown. It is an amazing property. I've never stayed there, but I have gone there. I've checked it out. I just haven't stayed overnight. The swimming pool there it's a tower swimming pool, indoor pool on one of the highest floors. It's one of the highest swimming pools in the world, and the views are insane. It's an amazing amenity for that. And Four Seasons, as you guys know, I'm a fan of Ritz-Carlton. Four Seasons is very, very similar to Ritz-Carlton. And I just put Ritz-Carlton a little bit higher than Four Seasons, but that doesn't mean Four Seasons is bad at all, man. They're incredible. That's an amazing property. The Rosewood is more expensive. I don't know much about it. I think Rosewood is now the tallest hotel in the world. It beat out the Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong recently, and it's in the building right next to the Ritz-Carlton. And I think you'll pay probably about 2,000 a night, 2,000 RMB a night to stay at the Rosewood there. Again, I don't know much about it other than the fact that it's in one of the tallest towers in the world. Too bad I have all your camping gear now in one place in the storage unit at the ranch. You have quite a lot. When I went home recently, I bought some new ones for my road trip. But hopefully you can give that to some of the brothers and sisters out there who enjoy it. None of that stuff is expensive, that camping gear. It's all pretty cheap. Even my camping gear here in China is pretty cheap. I do need to upgrade some of it for the upcoming trips that I have planned, especially I need a new bag. I do need a new tent. One of the things I'm thinking of, which was your suggestion, by the way, was to get one of those hammocks that is doubles as a tent. Um, I saw them online. They're not too expensive. I think I might invest in that. I have a little 2-man tent that's super, super cheap. I think I paid like, I don't know, 25, $30 for it. It's been doing the trick for me. I've done it 3 or 4 times now with that tent. But I think the hammock is the way to go. This, because everyone here has all the hikers, all the day hikers here bring hammocks with them. And when they get to their destination, to a peak, they whip out the tea and the hammocks and they hang out. And so they're very common. And I like that idea of sleeping in a hammock, one of these tent hammocks. Mosquitoes are a big problem right now this time of year. I'm getting ready for the cold walking season. I just went and bought some Arc tire gear. Is that how you say that? Cool. Yeah, it's not going to be too cold here, man. I think it'll be a pretty mild winter probably. We'll have a couple weeks here that are pretty cold, but in southern China at least it'll be all right. Fernando, you say the hammock tent is not the way to go. Well, I thought about getting like a rooftop tent too, like yours, but they're pretty pricey, those rooftop tents. The hammock tent, you have one that it's not like a slope hammock. It's one with like an actual bed, like some structure to it. It's flat. And if it's just for one night, I don't know what's better, sleeping on rocks on the ground on an angled mountain or in a hammock. Pick your poison, right? That's why I appreciate your hotel videos. Very helpful. We have family in the Jiangmen area. Great. I go to Jiangmen a lot. It's the city right next to us. And I've been struggling with this because I did the Wando Realm a couple years ago, and I'm thinking about going back there because that video is pretty. It's old. it's when I first started the channel. The other 2 hotels that I've done in Jiangmen, I did not get good reviews. One was the James Joyce Cafetel, which was not a very good stay. The bed was comfortable, the room was fine, but the rest of the hotel was pretty crap. And another resort near Guifengshang in Xinhui that did not satisfy me at all. In fact, I left. I didn't stay the night. It was so bad that I had to leave and just come home. And Jiangmen's just about an hour from here. I thought about going out there tonight and Jiangmen and staying there. There is a brand of hotels here in southern China called Country Phoenix that is not in the center of towns. They're usually on the outskirts of towns, and you get really good deals and very nice hotel rooms at these hotels. I've stayed at them in the past, and I thought about doing there's 3 or 4 of them in Jiangmen. I thought about doing a series on the Country Phoenix hotel brand. They're boring. They're not special, but they're nice, and you're very affordable compared to other hotels. So, in addition, I am putting together a series on cheap hotels in China. I've just banked like only 2 hotels right now. I want to do at least 3 per video. So I got one more I got to stay in. One of them is a Holiday Inn Express in Jiangmen, which was very nice. It was new. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's near the train station there. And another one was Lavande, which is a growing chain. They're opening up Lavandes everywhere. They just opened one up at Lihe that I'm going to stay at soon. Okay. Yeah, I heard that she broke her arm. Yeah, I talked to you guys last week. I hope that she's doing better, man. Paul, having served in the U.S. Air Force, you can say whatever you want. That's right when you join the arm. That's a right when you join the armed forces. Actually, it's the opposite. When you're a service member in the armed services, you're subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and you pretty much give up your right to free speech while you are an active duty troop. When you get out of the service, like I am now, I have no connections to the service whatsoever, other than being in the, you know, connected to the veterans groups. Uh, my voice has the same weight as any other voice out there. You know, my vote counts just as much as anyone else's votes. So I don't think it means. I mean, I do have the right to say whatever I want, but everyone else does. But I don't think what I say has any more weight over anyone else's opinion. I love people who disagree with me, especially over politics. I really do, because oftentimes, and I'm smart enough to know that I don't know everything, and oftentimes people will, you know, give a good argument, and I will change my mind. I'm humble enough to change my mind when people present me with a reasonable argument that challenges my worldview. Um, and that's part of growth, and that's part of the whole spirit of being an American, is this clash of ideas and debate and trying to find out what's best for everybody. So just because I'm a troop doesn't mean that my voice has uh, is more weight. It really doesn't. You know. Let's see. The ones you sleep fully dressed. Are you talking about? No. uh, it's a tent. It's a 2-man tent, hammock that you string up, but it's got a flat bottom, so it's got some structure to it. It's not light. So if you're going to camp with this, if you're going to go backpacking with this, you would have to split it up and say, okay, the the frame you're going to carry, I'll carry the rain fly and all that. So you're going to have to split up the weight, but it's just something I've seen, and it doesn't look very expensive. And I think it'd be because when I do go hiking and I do have a hammock that I string up, I still get bitten by the mosquitoes, and I get tired of that. You know, you have to keep moving so the mosquitoes don't get you. So when you hang out on top of a mountain or in a valley or whatever, I want a hammock that I can string up, drink tea, relax, listen to some music in my headphones, um, and not be bitten by the mosquitoes. So I think that this would be the answer, and it also you can sleep in it overnight, conceivably. Get off the ground, kind of swing a little bit. I think it'd be fun. Jamaica Funk's on. Hey, Jamaica, how you doing, Gene? Gene, I hope you're well, dude. Did you see my Shanghai Shashi Business Hotel video? They upgrade. I did not see it. Jamaica Funk. I don't know why, man. Gene, I'm not getting your video notifications. I don't understand why. I'm gonna have to go to your channel and check that one out. So, Gene, as soon as the live stream is done, I promise you I will go and watch that video. And for everyone out there, if you don't know Jamaica Funk, great China vlogger, check him out. We've done some live streams together in the past. He's a really, really nice guy. Yeah, I stayed in the Lavande in Kaiping. Okay. I know that hotel. I've never stayed there, but I did stay. When I stayed in Kaiping, I stayed at the country Phoenix, which is slightly out of town. I do plan on going back to Kaiping, by the way. My Kaiping video was done at a time when I wasn't really in front of the camera. And now that I have the drone and a couple of other new cameras, I want to go back to Kaiping because I think it's an important part of Chinese history, especially this part of China. We have the dialos, which are the watchtower houses from like the 1910s, 1920s era, all around me. They're in my neighborhood. There's one right down the street that's this old dialo. But Kaiping Jiangmen is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that I have to go back to and do a video that gives it a lot more justice. And part of the Kaiping that I was in is a very famous market street bordering on the river, and that was all closed up. It was bought by some investment group that was redoing it at the time, and everything was closed. And I just need to go back and check that one out. The PLA cannot enter the USA. I don't know. Is that actually truth? I don't know if that's true or not. Again, I've already told my stories about my encounters with the PLA here there. Don't forget to. Okay. All right, are we done here? Let's take a look. How long have we been online now? Okay, so if you count this one, part 2 and part 1 together, it's over an hour. If you guys have any other questions out there, I'd love to deal with them. If not, don't forget to check out fcustom.com. Support me, support my channel if you like what you see. Oh, heads up, former USA military personnel might not be able to get foreign expert. Really? I don't think that's... I haven't heard about that. But, you know, I've been in China long enough that it's just a renewal of my residence permit now, so... Okay. Coming up on my channel, coming up soon, is my National Day holiday trip, which I drove to Qingyuan and Xiaolan. I did the world's largest cantilevered glass bridge. I had a walkabout fail with Nanling National Forest, and instead I went to Yuminshan, which is another glass bridge forest park in Xiaolan. I got my adventures in Huizhou, not just the Lofushan that I told you about, but also riding ATVs in the mountains, as well as checking out some local artist museums. More Rojo Reads News coming up, and a couple other things. When you got the jersey... Oh, I got this jersey a couple weeks ago, dude. Check it out. Pretty cool, right? Go Dodgers. Okay, so support my LA Dodgers out there. You get okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I'm going to get off right now. I got to get up early in the morning because the troops will be up at 6 a.m. and marching, and then the construction guys come here at 7 a.m. So sure enough, I will only get a few hours of rest. But that's life in China, no matter where you are. Until then, guys, everyone, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next live stream. Bye-bye.